Update: WNBA upgrades hard foul on Caitlin Clark. Fines Angel Reese and Chicago Sky for missing post game interview.
And Clark.
So that's Caitlin Clark in the red for the Indiana Fever, and that's Kennedy Carter in the blue for the Chicago Sky, where Angel Reese plays.
I mean, clearly a foul, which was called. The question is, will they call it unnecessary? Kennedy Carter
That was unnecessary.
away from the ball foul because it happened prior to the inbound. So then anybody can shoot the free throw. And Clark.
Yeah. So that foul was called a away from the ball foul in the game, but the WNBA upgraded it to a flagrant foul or hard foul, I believe. Kennedy Carter now has a flagrant one. And Angel Reese refused to do an interview. She got a $1,000 fine, and the Chicago Sky got a $5,000 fine because one of their players refused to do an
And
interview.
Clark.
And here is Kennedy Carter's interview after that foul.
Play before bumping in with Caitlin, it seemed like she turned to you a little bit after the Fever
I didn't
score.
answer no Caitlin Clark questions.
Did she say anything to you?
I don't know what she did.
What'd you say to her?
I didn't say anything.
On the play.
Also, I want to add this layer into the subject. Indiana Fever's GM claims Caitlin Clark is being targeted on the court, and it needs to stop. She said there's a difference between tough defense and unnecessary targeting actions. So she is not a big fan of what's been happening with Miss Caitlin Clark.
Well, first and foremost, it sounds like the newest players on the WNBA are getting hazed in some way, shape, or form. I feel like it's pretty obvious with the two stars. I wonder all the other new players if they're getting hazed just as much, but I feel like it's going to be really big for Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese for a lot of reasons. I think number one is because they were the top brass. They were the top brass that came into this whole thing, right? And they're both getting caught up.
I mean, if you think about it, 2 years ago, 1 year ago, the WNBA stars must have been jealous last year when they were in college and they were on ESPN for weeks, and no one talked about ESPN.
They were probably overshadowed.
There got to be some sort of resentment towards those two specifically that goes above hazing. Yeah, I agree with that.
So I do think that they're getting the full brunt of that. As for Angel Reese not answering any questions for the interview, maybe that's also a form of hazing. It's like, yo, if you say anything, like you don't know what's gonna happen to you. You got that? Like maybe something like that. That's why she had to stand in solidarity with her teammates. Or it could just be like, listen, I'm trying to be down with the team. I don't want no issues or no problems. So I'm going to not say anything because I don't want to cause any discourse or cause any division in my team. Like, I need my team to stand strong. So I'll pay the fine because I'm not trying to split up my team.
To your point,
or it could be Caitlin Clark, or it could be like, I don't like Caitlin Clark, like maybe because they do have a bit of a rivalry, and it's like, I'm not saying nothing to that, but I feel like that's the least likely situation.
To your point, in the interview with Kennedy Carter, who's Angel Reese's teammate, when they're asking her about Caitlin Clark, the head coach of the Sky goes, "That's enough." Like, she's stopping the questions. So I think, and Angel Reese knows that she gets fined $1,000 and the team gets fined $5,000. So I don't think she does that without the team going, we're cool with that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I feel like it has to have been something that happened before. Whether it's like, yo, we need to stand in solidarity together, or it's just another form of hazing. Like, yo, listen, you're not gonna say nothing and shut up. Like, whatever. Like, try to strong arm Angel Reese into not speaking. Those are my like two main things. Caitlin Clark is being targeted, for sure, being targeted. I feel like that's an obvious statement. That was, I mean, like, but it sounds like this the other player, I forgot the name, whoever the person that keeps doing it, that hit Caitlin Clark. Apparently, she does this multiple times to multiple players, so she's not
Kennedy Carter.
Yeah. So from what I heard, she does this more. This is more than once that she did this to other players in general.
Okay,
So,
all right.
this is part of her MO.
Listen though,
So I don't know.
at the end of the day, though, I do also think it's just basketball too. I think they're upset. I think there's some resentment there because they are the big leagues, and not for nothing. Uh, they're doing great. Both Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark are playing well, but it is their rookie year, so they're not the big dogs. Even on the production side, they're not producing like the big dogs are, but they're producing exceptionally well for rookies, and the potential for them to be the big dogs is there. And this might be your only chance you got to bully them because once they become the big dogs, you're not going to be able to, and they're cognizant of that as well. This just is basketball though, and you gotta look at it like that. I do see people paint the race picture here, and of course this is America. Everything is going to have a racial component to it, right? So covers and commentary said not that she was painting the picture. Covers and commentary did say this that got me thinking. She said, and I didn't watch the game, but she said that Caitlin Clark was talking trash the whole game to them, and then they did the little bump foul. It was a flagrant one, cool, whatever. But the media paints it as if Caitlin Clark just got hit without building up to the fact that Caitlin Clark was talking smack. And I know for a fact from watching her play in college, Caitlin talks smack. like that's she is the innovator of this joint right here. The whole controversy that this happened was Caitlin Clark doing. She started doing this to teams when she was eliminating them. So she was a trash talker, right? She talks, but she isn't the only one. But I could see how like it's painted that way. But I honestly, sincerely, from my heart, do not believe this is a race issue, and I hope no one makes it a race issue because the same people who are upset that Caitlin Clark is getting hit and the same people that are happy she's getting hit is literally just basketball minds. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And a lot of them are black, a lot of them are white. The girl that fouled Caitlin crazy before this was a white girl. She ain't fouled her because Caitlin was white, because she's also white. She fouled her because that's Caitlin Clark. You know what I mean? And the same thing with Angel Reese. The person who fouled Angel Reese wasn't a white person.
And
Alyssa's black.
You know me. I'm old. I'm gonna be the one to talk about race at some point. I do agree. I don't really see a race problem in this situation. I do see maybe a hazing situation. It is peculiar. It is. I'm not gonna front. It is peculiar, and it should be investigated as to why. Caitlin, like now nobody's talking about Caitlin Clark's trash talking that led to her getting hurt like that on the court.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Say like, same thing with Angel Reese though. Like, did she talk some smack too? But either way, I feel as though I feel like if you're gonna talk about a race situation, did Caitlin Clark ever respond to her getting hit? Like, did it ever happen? Did she respond?
I put up a short, and in that short, she says that it is you just get back up, you shoot the free throw. Basketball is a physical game, and you keep playing. And then she's on the bench, and her teammates are there, and they're black women, and she looks over to them, and they share like a giggle, because they all know they in this together. They on a team. This
Right.
isn't. I'm telling. It's basketball. You know what I'm saying? This isn't anything more than just basketball. If anything, if there's another component to this, is old guard versus new guard. It's the elder statesman and the young bucks. That's the other component that's a little bit deeper than basketball.
I
The
agree.
racial component is coming from the media and how the media is portraying it. And the media going, "Ooh, poor little white girl got hit." You know, they didn't do that for Angel Reese. You know what I'm saying? That's on the media, but the media gonna be racist because that's media. You know what I mean?
I guess you could say that Caitlin Clark is being targeted, utilizing that language and hiding the fact that she wasn't like hiding the fact that she was talking trash throughout the whole thing.
Yeah.
But the fact that what I do like is Caitlin Clark's response is like, "Yo, I'm gonna get back up. I'm gonna do what I gotta do." Like I would have found it racist that the fact that Caitlin Clark didn't make any answers and they were hiding the fact that she didn't have a conference after the game. Like that would make me like put my
Nah,
great
she
racism things up and be like, huh, you didn't say nothing? That's a little weird, bro. That's a little weird. You know what I mean?
on the
But she did say something.
flip to that, I'm not a big fan of the GM coming out and defending her because it is basketball. Like, just let them play, man. Like, also be
She looks like an
defensive.
overprotective parent. That's what she looks like.
Carlos said Cano hit it right on the head. Yeah, I mean, I just built on what Kyle said because he said something and it clicked to me, and I was like, yeah, it is just hazing. I mean, you've been saying that from the beginning since the first time we
Yeah, I feel
started
like this is a
reporting on
form of
this.
hazing. And I feel like I'll stick with that for real because I do think that in the NBA, WNBA, sports in general, I feel like they're like, especially when you're a part of a team, like it just or you're part of like a whole and when you're in the NBA or you're in this like I don't know much about sports, but what I do know is that when you go into that level of stuff,
It's like loving
you're a
basketball.
family, you're a part of a family on your
Yeah,
team, but the NBA itself is a bigger family. It's like we all know where we getting ourselves into.
yeah. A good
So you
example of
being a
that.
player is like getting hazed from both ends of the stick. You're one end, your team is hazing you, while the other end, the opposing team is hazing you, and it almost seems like you're just getting jumped by both sides.